I am continuing my series of checking out cabin pricing for solo cruisers across the various cruise lines. And today I am going to look at Virgin Voyages. But stay tuned, because not only am I going to look into their pricing for solo cruisers, but also I'm going to do a comparison to NCL. They both have programs that cater to solo cruisers, so which one has the better value for solo cruisers? Let's find out. Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Cheryl, also known as Sig Cruiser, and that's for solo, introvert, and gluten-free cruiser. And I am continuing my series today. I am going to look at Virgin Voyages. And just like last week, to keep it simple and to keep it moving, I took screenshots that I'm going to share with you to walk through the pricing process and also to do the comparison. So let's get started. Now, as we did last week, the first thing that we want to do is to look at the current promotions that are being offered. By considering the current promotions, you can get a better feel of the fairness of the pricing. If there's a certain percentage given off for the second sailor, does the solo cruiser see that value as well? That's one reason why we look at the current promotion. And here we see with Virgin Voyages, they're promoting up to 80% off of second sailor. Now for this comparison, I'm going to pick a date that's in 2025, so that will increase our chances of having solo cabins available. So we're going to consider a sailing on the Valiant Lady, a 4-day sailing leaving from Miami going to Key West and Bimini, and this is going to be August 20th through the 24th of 2025. The first cabin that we're going to check out is the solo cabin. So Virgin has what they call the Solo Insider. It's 105 square feet, so we're going to start with that cabin. Now, if we go through the pricing, the rate for that cabin is $1,219. Now, the one thing that I found really exceptional about Virgin and their booking process is that it is clear, transparent, and very simple. There's only like 3 clicks to actually book a cruise on their site. So next, when we select our cabin, the next thing is they total out our cruise and give us our final price. They add in the port fees of $190. That comes to a final price of $1,409. Quick, simple, and easy. Now let's take a look at what the equivalent of that would be if we wanted to look at an inside cabin, but a regular inside cabin. So our regular inside cabin, if we price that for a solo, our rate is going to be $1,818. Again, adding on the port fees, and that comes to a total of $2,008. Now, what's great about the Virgin Voyages rate is that the gratuities and Wi-Fi is included. So our final cruise rate is the actual final cruise rate. So looking at the Insider and comparing that to the Solo Insider, well, the difference is going to be $599. Now, I don't know about you, but I consider that a significant difference where I would see value in taking the solo cabin. Still, let's take a look at double occupancy with 2 cruisers in the cabin. How much would that cabin cost? So now with 2 people in the cabin, the rate is still the same, $1,818. Of course, the port fee, there's going to be a difference in port fees because you're adding on port fees and taxes for that second person. Still, your Wi-Fi and gratuities are included, so that comes to $2,202. So basically, for a solo in an insider room, you are paying double occupancy. The only difference is you're not paying that second set of port fees and taxes. However, the difference between double occupancy and the solo insider, well, that's $793. So that's a significant difference. Now, let's take a look at a similar sailing on Norwegian and see what the differences are within cabins on Norwegian and then comparing it to Virgin Voyage. We're going to start off exactly the same way, looking at their promotions. Now, just like on our Virgin Voyages, the promotion on this sailing was 70% off of second sailor. and it happens to be the same thing for Norwegian for our price comparison. So let's just go through this quickly. So for a solo inside cabin, now this is not the studio cabin, but the solo inside cabin, it has a rate of $849 per person, and you add in the port fees of $238. Now NCL has a free at sea program, but you still have to pay the gratuities of the specialty dining that's included and the drinks. So the specialty dining gratuities are $11.80, and the drinks, well, that's $87.20. Now, what they don't show you, and what I couldn't find, at least on the consumer side, was where you can add in gratuities, because unlike Virgin, gratuities are not included, and you're going to add those on. So I'm a travel agent, so I went to the travel agent side to see what those gratuities were. So it was actually $80. So the price that I was able to see on the consumer side was not the actual final price that's comparable to Virgin, because we have to add in the gratuities. So adding in the gratuities, that changes the price to $1,266 for the cruise. We're going to do a final comparison, but right now we're going to roll quickly into, okay, if I want to get a regular inside room, but only as a solo cruiser, how much would that be? So for the insider, with our promotion, with our free at sea, our cruise rate is $898.30. So ours are the same, $238. Again, our gratuities, we're going to go ahead and add those in, $80. Specialty dining, $11.80, and our drinks, $87.20. So our total for staying in a regular cabin, but just one person, is $1,315. Now let's do the same thing that we did with Virgin, looking at the total price for an insider as a solo cruiser and comparing that to the solo cabin price. Now the difference between a regular cabin and a solo insider on Norwegian is $49. Remember, this difference was $600 on Virgin. There was a $600 difference between a regular cabin and a solo insider cabin. But on Virgin, yeah, $49. You save $49 by going into a smaller cabin. Now, what's the price of the cabin for two people that's staying in that cabin? Well, we're just gonna cut right to the chase. Well, they are paying $466 more because they're paying double the price of the gratuities on the specialty dining and the drinks and the port fees and taxes. So let's put this all together, and I put a spreadsheet together, and I hope it's not overwhelming, but I think it's easier to see the differences when everything is side by side. So here, again, like I said, this is our solo insider. We have our total is $1,409. If we wanted to move to a solo inside, that's $2,008 total. And our difference between the solo inside and the regular interior cabin is going to be $599. And to me, I think that's the biggest difference. For Norwegian, we're paying $1,266 for the solo insider, the 100 square foot solo insider. The insider cabin, if I want to book that as solo, that's going to be $1,315. The difference between the regular inside cabin and the solo inside cabin is $49. Now, I think there are some things that you have to consider. They both have a hosted solo cruiser program. It does sound like NCL's solo insider program may be a little bit more extensive, so if that's important to you, then that may bring value to their pricing for you. For Virgin, I have experienced Virgin, and I would say their dining, and I'm not talking about the food, but just the dining experience. It's a little more upscale than NCL. NCL, they promote freestyle dining, so it's more casual, where on Virgin, you're gonna get that restaurant style, and they don't have a buffet. Even their dining experience outside of the restaurants, whereas on NCL, other ships, you're gonna have the buffet. Well, Virgin has a galley, which I actually prefer. So it's very nice to where you can order from different eating venues and they bring the food to your table. A great experience. Of course, on Virgin, it's all adults. So no kids on the ship. So if you're looking for that all adult experience, that's going to add value for you. Now, unlike NCL, well, the drinks are not included. So if you want drinks, you have to purchase what they call a bar tab. You can purchase a certain amount of bar tab to spend for drinks around the ship and even at their beach club. Now, considerations for NCL. Well, first of all, if you use Wi-Fi, I know they have free at sea and Wi-Fi is included, but it is not unlimited Wi-Fi. So if Wi-Fi is important to you and if you use premium Wi-Fi, well, you're probably gonna have to purchase additional Wi-Fi. Also, the dining. For solo cruisers, if you get that solo cabin, it doesn't include specialty dining every single night. So there is a limit to the dining, there's a limit to the Wi-Fi. And for Norwegian, also, the free drinks, it's not unlimited free drinks as far as you can get anything. So they do have a limit to that as well. Now they do have the excursions, which is not included, but it is a $50 credit. So it's not any excursion what you want to do, but they do have that $50 credit. So if that's important to you, that may be something that brings value to you. Now, which one is best? Which one has the better value? As I always say, that's going to depend on you. Now, I will tell you what's best for me, but first, I'm gonna tell you who do I think it's best for. So Virgin, I would think that's best for people who are not drinkers. So they're not gonna be concerned about the free drinks that the Free at Sea program gives. And Virgin, it's best for those if they want that all-adult experience. If they want an all-adult cruise, well, that's going to be Virgin Voyages. If they want a more upscale dining experience, both in the dining room and your casual dining, well, that's going to be Virgin Voyages. And I do think if you're looking for the best value for solo pricing compared to the other cabins at double occupancy, well, to me, that is Virgin Voyages. When I see that difference of I can have this solo cabin, but it's going to take $600 more if I want the equivalent at double occupancy, whereas on Norwegian, just 50 bucks more and I can have a regular cabin, then that tells me that I'm getting a better value for a solo cabin with Virgin Voyages. Now, for NCL, that's probably going to be more valuable for you if you really need a hosted solo cruiser program from beginning to end, someone to arrange dinners or to arrange activities for solo cruisers every day. If you're reliant on the solo cruiser program to meet others on the ship, then you may find that valuable on NCL. And if you just want a standard cruising experience, now Virgin, you really have to be open-minded. Their cruising experience is a little different. It's not outrageous at all. I've sailed Virgin. It's not outrageous, but it is a different experience, which I enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to sailing with them again. However, if you're not into the extra, you don't want any extra, you just want a normal standard cruise, then NCL may be the one for you. Now, with all of this information, who do I think has the better value for solo cruisers? For me personally, I think Virgin Voyages has the best value for the solo cruising experience for me. And the reason that I say that, again, that difference in cabin pricing, that's number one for me. I can't spend an extra $50 and get a regular room like I can on NCL. The solo cruiser program is nice, but I personally don't find value in that. And that's not what I'm looking for when I go solo cruising. So it's a big part of NCL, but that's not important to me. I love the fact that it's an all-adult cruise line. And the thing that I like most, especially with going through this exercise, is how quick and easy their booking process is and how transparent their pricing is. What you see is what you get. You don't have to dig around to add gratuities and find that, there's going to be something added on later. They're upfront. In my experience, there wasn't any nickel and diming or adding on here and there. Same with any cruise. If you want excursions, yes, you have to buy that. The free Wi-Fi, I just thought it was a better booking experience and it provides better value for me. So which one is the better value to you? So drop a note in the comments and let me know which one do you think offers the most value. Now, I hope you found this information valuable. Now, if you did, please hit that thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and also consider joining my membership where I give you behind the scenes content. I do weekly chats with my members. They get firsthand information about when I cruise, and when I do cruise, they get firsthand information about my experience. And I also offer additional tips, and especially when I come across great deals, well, I share that with my membership immediately. So check it out and consider joining. Well, that's it for me today, and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.